Yooosin, welcome back today, you guys. And after the big, massive update on Monopoly Go today, it seems like airplane mode might be patched. Or is it? So if you didn't hear, yesterday, Monopoly dropped this update. It seems like some people got it quicker than other people, but what it did is it changed the whole algorithm for the rolling and how the rolling works, and now it's entirely different, and everybody's been in shambles trying to figure out the airplane mode ever since. So I'm sure you guys seen a lot of comments and a lot of talk about how the rolls seem predetermined now. So it does seem to be that way according to the multipliers. Like if you roll on ×1 and you get a 5, 6, 7, it seems to be that way if you stay on ×1, and the only way to change it is when you change a multiplier to ×5, ×10, or something different. Today I've been spending all day trying to figure this stuff out, and I found out a few strategies that still seem to work. Let's hop right into it. I'm gonna do my best to explain this stuff to you guys so you guys can get up to date too. So I have 3 different strategies I'm gonna show you guys. The first one being the simplest, and then, a little bit more complex. And then the last one, I'm gonna show you guys the most complex and the entirety of the whole way it works and my entire understanding of it. So the first strategy, it's just the simple one that I'm sure you guys are all aware of by now. You would just go into ×1000, you're gonna make your one roll, and if it's not something you like, you would back it up, reset the game after you've deleted the data from the cache or reinstalled the game on iPhone, and then you would just roll a ×1 afterwards, and then roll another ×1000 and have just a new starting point every time you roll ×1, just to shuffle the spaces, and then you could retry it again. And that's just a very simple, easiest fix. Now it still works, it just leads to a bit more of the resets and deleting the cache, and it might take a little bit of your high roller time away. Now let's dive into the second strategy. This is the strategy that I was kind of using on the fly to make sure that I could still get points while I was still learning this whole system. Now I kind of call this one like 2 in the chamber or something. Now I'm going to explain why. This is the strategy. When you would log on, go to ×100 or whatever multiplier it is that you're trying to roll on, and roll the dice 3, 4 times, however many times you can. Now let's say in this example I'm going to put up on the screen, I got an 8, an 8, and then a 6 afterwards. So what I did is I did the airplane mode to, maneuver, went off, deleted the data, so it came back, so I'd be back at the same spot that I was at before. And then I went to ×1, and I rolled, and I got a different result. I didn't get that initial 8, I got a different number. And then that gives you a new starting point. And now the information that I have is that when I go back to ×100, the 2 next bullets in the chamber are going to be that other 8 and that other 6. But when you make that first roll on ×1, you lose that first 8 in the sequence. Like I said, if you were rolling 8, 8, 6, then that's your setup for ×100. When you roll that first roll on ×1 to move your guy just to a new starting point, now that first bullet is gone and you only have the other 2 left in the chamber, which is the 8 and then the 6. And I was using that strategy just to line it up as well as I could to make sure I could still land on at least some of them. I will admit that it was a little bit slower, but that was because I was learning, and I still got 2 jackpots on the high roller earlier, so maybe I could fine tune it and get a little bit faster at it. But generally, that was my strategy with this one. Now, and for this third strategy, this is the most in-depth and full understanding and all the information that I have on how this works. And I'm hoping that maybe even someone that's, smarter and better than me at this type of stuff can hopefully just use this information that I'm giving and hopefully even make this a little bit easier on us. So I created a graph for you guys, and I'm gonna throw it up on the screen. And what you're seeing here is I made a graph showing all the different multipliers, the ×1 through ×100, and then I put the rolls, like roll 1, roll 2, roll 3, roll 4, roll 5. And to fully explain this in the best way that I possibly can, I highlighted that column in the roll 1, the first roll, the column that I have highlighted there. Every single time you roll, that column is going to move 1 time to the right. So after you do your airplane mode testing, like you see here on this chart, and go through your multipliers and find out what your result is going to be coming up next, then let's say, so I go into it, I don't like what I want in the spot that I'm in, and I'm my ×100. So I go back in, I roll a ×1, it's going to give me a 10, so I can get to a new spot. And then let's say If I needed a 3 after, I can come on down to the roll 2 column, because we would be in the roll 2 column. Now that we've rolled one time, it's going to push all the results over, and the next rolls that you're going to be looking at are going to be on the roll 2 column after that first roll. So essentially, when you can write down all the records of what you get, and they will stay predetermined and you will get those rolls. But when you go to a different multiplier and you make one roll, you won't be able to come back to it and get that same result that you remember. But if you use this strategy, you can very well still see what's coming and just do some basic maths and make sure that you still are landing where you want using this strategy. And that's all the information that I have about the new rolling sequence and how things are working now in Monopoly Go. So it still seems doable. It just seems like it's a little bit more annoying than the way that it was before. I really hope that it comes around and it helps you guys, or maybe someone can use this information and maybe fine tune it and make it better so we can even do this a little bit easier. But I hope that this helps you guys. And if you guys want to join the Facebook group that we have for the trading cards and staying up to date with this kind of stuff where I post my videos, we're growing. I think we're about 800 people strong now, and you guys are all invited to join. And if you guys have any questions, just make sure you guys head on down to the comments. I do my best to always get back to you guys. So if it's a little delayed right now, just bear with me because I'm trying to figure all this stuff out. Yooosin out.